Hi guys, welcome back to my channel Lush Gardener. In today's video, we are going to be talking about how to fix a leggy succulent. Now guys, before that we need to understand what does leggy mean or what does it mean when a succulent is stretching. Now a succulent will only stretch when it is not getting a good amount of light. For example, here you can see this is a perfect example of what stretching tends to look like. One, either the succulent is going to kind of point towards where there is light, or the succulent will be upright and straight, but there is going to be a lot of gap in between the leaves. You can see this. Now the moment you start noticing that there is a lot of gap in between the leaves, this indicates that your succulent is stretching and it needs more light. So this process is irreversible. Basically, even if you are going to offer light, this gap is not going to get filled up. It's going to stay as it is. But once you start giving it a good amount of light, what's going to happen is the crown area will start getting compact. Now there is another problem with this. Once you start giving a good amount of light, the crown area will start to get very compact. In fact, it will not have any of those gaps. Now with that, as the crown area starts to grow, it is going to become very heavy, and eventually the entire succulent will start to bend or will start to fall over. If you have a small pot and it's not very heavy, the succulent will topple because the top or the crown area will start to get very heavy. So the only option over here, what we are left with, because the succulent will not go back to being compact even after you offer the good amount of light or the right intensity of the light, the succulent is not going to go back to its original form. It is going to stay as it is. Only the crown area will get compact and it's going to get heavy. So in this case, the only option that we are left with is to do a stem cutting. Now I would say before you do a stem cutting, ensure your environment is pleasant. It's not too hot or too cold. Apart from that, hydrate your succulent before you're doing any kind of stem cutting. Now, even if you tend to see little bit of wrinkles on the lower leaves, first hydrate your succulent and then do a cutting. Do not do a stem cutting for a dehydrated succulent. Now, the next thing what we are going to do is we are going to check where we can cut the stem, because you can see the stem is really long. So we will take few of the leaves from here very gently, because these leaves can also propagate and we will get pups. We can do a leaf propagation. So very gently pull them out from the stem. Ensure you do not apply a lot of force, because we want a very clean cut. We do not want the leaf to break half on the stem, because that is not going to make any sense. That leaf will not get propagated. And now we will gently twist and turn the other leaves as well. So now that we have our stem visible, as you can see, probably I'll take out another leaf from here. There we go. Now the stem is visible, so now we can cut it off. But before that, I'll clean the scissor, blade or knife. Now you can use rubbing alcohol, you can use hand sanitizer, anything that can clean or sterile the cutting material that you have, whether it's a scissor, blade or knife. Now that we have cleaned our scissor, we're going to locate that stem which we had taken out the leaves, and there we go. We will cut it off right where the stem is, and here we have our crown area that we are going to let it callus. You can see the crown area is very clean. This is how it's supposed to look like. Now the rest of these will be left as it is. We have a leaf propagation. We have the remaining succulent in the pot. We are going to leave it as it is. Here I have another crown cutting that I had done some time back, and as you can see, I rubbed off some of the farina. This usually happens when we tend to handle succulents that have a lot of farina. We need to be a little bit careful, but accidents do happen. That's absolutely okay. We have our leaf propagation over here. We have the mother plant and we have the crown cuttings. Now all of them have to be kept in a place where there is no moisture or water that is going to come in contact with them. Otherwise, all of these will get rotted and all your efforts that you have put in will go off. Now please, a lot of people have asked me, can we use sanitizer on the cuts that we have recently cut in order to kill off the bacteria? Please don't do that. I'm not very sure how it's going to work out. Most probably it might burn the cuts, so please don't add anything. If you want, you can go ahead and add some cinnamon powder on this cut part. Also, you can see the cut part looks very fresh. This is how it's supposed to look. So please don't add any liquid. Please don't add any hand sanitizer on the cut part. That might lead to a burn or it might start to rot. I'm not very sure what's going to happen because I haven't used it. Rest of them are going to be kept dried probably another for 2 to 3 days. It's going to take for them to callus. Until then, they are going to be kept away from any kind of moisture. If you want, you can add some cinnamon powder on the cuts. That's all. Please do not add anything else. There are chances it could affect the cutting, so please don't do anything else. Now that's all about it, guys. It is going to take few days. As I said, I'm not very sure how long it takes for it to air root. Depending upon your environment, your climate, and the type of succulent, the roots will appear. It might take 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, even a month. There is nothing much we can do, because a lot of people were asking how long will it take for a succulent to root. There is nothing much we can do apart from waiting. All we have to do is hope that it roots fast. But the most important thing is, please don't do a stem cutting of a succulent that is in its dormant stage. So guys, that's all about it. I hope that this video was helpful to you. If it was, please hit the like button. And if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing to it. Until then, take care, stay safe, and keep propagating.